Good morning, aloha from Florida. So let's talk real quick about 4 facts from flying. The first one is the mechanical gyroscope. It holds rigidity in space. Wherever you set it for referencing level, it will hold that reference the entire flight, no matter how far the plane flies. This is proof that straight and level flight is real. That straight and level flight means the air, or that the airplane is flying through the air over a plane. Number 2 is the top of descent calculation for an aircraft. For the airplane to land safely, it must assume a flat baseline to tell it when to start coming down out of the air, or the angle of descent for the rate of descent. But the top of descent calculation proves the Earth is flat, without a doubt. It's 100% fact that the Earth is flat. You don't have to like it, you don't have to believe it, but it's true. All technology is based on flat Earth, including flying an airplane. The next one is the emergency landings. All flight paths actually only work and make sense on a flat Earth map. None of them make sense on a globe. If you don't believe me, go check it out. And if you're a globe troll and you want to say, well, what about this flight? Oh, you have one flight that you have to trust how high and fast they're telling you they're flying, versus hundreds of flights that only work and only make sense on flat Earth every day. And the last one is the pitch of the aircraft. The flight data clearly shows that the pitch of the airplane does not change for hours at a time. If an airplane's flying 500 miles per hour, just in 2 hours it has gone 1,000 miles. Any idea how much curvature of the Earth there would be beneath the aircraft if the Earth were a ball? But yet the flight data clearly shows the pitch of the airplane does not change at all. These are 4 simple facts from flying, and you can't debate them. You can deny them, but you can't debate them. They're true. The Earth is flat. That's an absolute scientific fact. Go check out Flat Earth Banjo. That is Eddie Alencar. He's the author of 16 emergency landings proving flat Earth. Again, you can deny it, but you can't debate it. You can argue against it, and you can choose not to believe it, but all true science is on the side of flat Earth. All technology is based on flat Earth. Oh, another one that goes on hand in hand with the flight paths is the undersea cables. Go check out an undersea cable map based on a globe, and realize there's no cables at the bottom of the ball. Why? Well, put those undersea cables on a flat Earth map, and you'll see real fast, real clearly why. The undersea cables and the flight paths are 2 death blows for the blue ball religion. Have a great day. Make sure you check out Flat Earth Banjo, Eddie Alencar, and his book, 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth.
Here's something interesting you might not have ever thought about. If you're flying from a location in the southern hemisphere and you're going to another destination in the southern hemisphere somewhere else, should your flight ever have to cross the equator? So in this example, the flight goes from Bali all the way to Los Angeles, but notice how it goes through Alaska. Why is that? Why doesn't it just cross through the middle like right here? Well, I'll show you why. This is because this is the actual route right here. They went all the way from Bali, they crossed through Alaska, and they landed in California. Because anytime you go from point A to point B, a straight line is always going to be the fastest route. This is the real map.
Let me guys remind you, just in case you forgot that, well, east to west circumnavigation has been done millions of times, and north to south circumnavigation has been done 0 times. But let me remind you guys that these are emergency flight path landings, so they need to land the plane as quickly as possible. Check out this flight, for example. This flight was from Taiwan to Los Angeles, and emergency happened along the way, so they need to land the plane as quickly as possible. So they decide to land all the way up in Alaska. Like, if we supposedly live on this ball, like Hawaii is just right there. Like, but if you take a look at it on a flat Earth map, Taiwan to Los Angeles, Alaska is along the way, and look where Hawaii is. Here's another one. This flight was from Argentina to India. An emergency happened along the way, and they landed all the way up in Amsterdam. Like, if we supposedly live on this globe, why didn't they just go straight across and land somewhere here in Africa? But once again, you take a look at it on a flat Earth map, Argentina to India, Amsterdam is along the way. And the best for last has to be this one. This flight was from Auckland to Lima, Peru. Emergency happened along the way, so they decided to land all the way up in Los Angeles, passing the equator. Like, we live on this globe again, why didn't they go straight across? And yet, you take a look at it on a flat earth map, Auckland to Lima, Peru, Los Angeles is along the way, needing to pass the equator. But it makes you wonder, is that why in their flight dynamics summary, they assume the Earth to be flat and non-rotating?
So if it wasn't for all the science books and Charles Darwin's silly little theories, then would we really even believe in evolution? Like, if you actually look at all of these fossils, for some even hundreds of millions of years back, they've been the same. Horseshoe crabs, they've been around since the dinosaurs. But let me not even get into the topic of the dinosaurs. Actually, I changed my mind. I think we're going to talk about the T-Rex. Here's the thing about the T-Rex. They've only found like 4 fragments of the entire skeleton, 4 small bone fragments, a few pieces of the skull and jaw, and then pieces of the tail. Now, how can you determine that the T-Rex looks like what we're shown in the museums if you've only found 3 or 4 bone fragments? Does that make any sense? It's an entire mythical reconstruction. The terrible lizard could just be a completely made-up story. But of course, I have no idea what I'm talking about, and this video was for entertainment purposes only, just like the movie Jurassic Park. But maybe they're trying to show us something with all of these animations. Maybe they're hinting that it could all be made up.
What are y'all's thoughts about this? I'm just curious. SpaceX launched their first grouping of satellites in 2019. There was so many people launching stuff. I mean, China was launching moons, and they were launching Starlinks in 2019 and 2020. My spidey senses are going off. So we have 6,000 to 7,000 satellites in orbit right now, in lower Earth orbit. But the plan is to have 42,000. And that's not all, because there's other companies that are going to launch their own constellation also. Isn't that a lot in our sky? I mean, won't you be blocking a lot that's going on? And I thought that we get our satellite from cables under the ocean, and now we have them in the air. What's y'all's thoughts on this? I can't say too much. Astronomers have concerns, and I'm just wondering, how do y'all feel?
I just want to ask you a question. If this is us in 1 year, and we're over here, and we're seeing the Milky Way that way, okay? Why is it when we go around the other side of the sun, that when we're looking at the sun, that should be the Milky Way that way, but we still see it over this side? Can you explain that? Why is it that we don't see different stars throughout the year? We see the same stars, same constellations, everything year round, but the sun never blocks any of those stars for us. Once the sun goes, we just see those same stars in the sky. Can you explain that on your model? Because I know how to explain it on the flat earth model quite easily. You've been lied to. This is not reality. It can't be. Go and do the research yourself and find out. Truth doesn't fear investigation. Go prove it wrong. Show me how this makes any sense at all, please. And if you can't, maybe you need to think about what reality really is and stop just buying into what you were told when you were 5. Thanks. Have a good day.
I can't prove flat earth to you. I can't make you look. I can't make you use common sense. I can't. It is impossible. Truth, absolute truth, has to be sought out by every single individual. You could start off saying there's no God. But if you're really humble about it, if you're really sincere and you really want to know the truth, you will find God. You will find and see truth. It's flat plane. You don't want to believe it. You want to believe man, because why would they lie? We proved it 2,000 years ago. Okay, man. You're missing out on being alive. In being alive. You're a walking dead person not knowing the truth.
Did you know that NASA actually paid Nikon to stop selling the Nikon P1000 camera just before the total solar eclipse of April of 2024? Can you believe that? Now, do you have any idea as to why they would buy a company off and tell them to stop selling a particular camera just before an eclipse? Perhaps there was something that NASA didn't want us to see during this eclipse. Perhaps that the moon isn't actually blocking out the sun to cause the eclipse. But I'm just being a conspiracy theorist. But the camera was called the Globe Buster, and all over Twitter and all over the internet, you can see videos of people zooming in on ships that supposedly disappeared below the curving horizon. Now, the news likes to write things off and say that it's just a mirage or an optical illusion, and that ship, looking like it's floating above the curving horizon, is doing just that because of the light being inverted and refracted and all these other silly things. When in reality, it's just sitting on an infinitely flat plane because the horizon doesn't actually end. It's just a visual horizon. But of course, I'm making all of this up and I'm a conspiracy theorist, and the Earth is obviously a globe with a curving horizon.
Let's talk about flat Earth, the moon, and the sun. First, let's point out some inconsistencies fed to us by NASA. They tell us that the reason that you only see one side of the moon ever is due to this thing called tidal lock. What they're trying to present to us is that the moon is on an orbit that somehow perfectly matches the timing of its rotation. I want you guys to think about the likelihood of something like that happening. Classic physics literally proves this model wrong. I think that most of classic physics is like not accurate anyways, but I'm just saying like the hypocrisy. What about the fact that the moon is a quarter of the size of the Earth, but its mass is only about 1.2% of Earth's? How about the fact that the moon produces a cold light, and you can test this at home, but it supposedly is the sun bouncing off of it? Or the fact that they tell us that the sun is 400 times the distance that the moon is, and 400 times larger, yet the sun and the moon are the exact same sizes when they eclipse. What are the odds? How about the fact that NASA did a series of experiments in the 50s where they shot rockets into the moon and have recordings of it ringing like a gong? There's audio recordings of the moon ringing for like 2.5 hours straight after it's hit. Or the fact that according to NASA, all moons around other planets sit perfectly at the equator, but ours somehow sits at about a 5-degree angle. Let's take a look at how sun and moon would rotate the flat Earth. Okay, so this is the FE Earth app. I think it's like $1.99. I don't make any money off of this. I have no affiliation with this app. I'm just showing you because it's a great representation. It shows how you can have the sun and moon out at the same time, how sunsets work. And I know in occultism, this is like where they get the yin and yang thing from. So yeah, this has like all different features that give you like visuals for flat Earth topics. And there's like videos and stuff that they put out too. While we're here, this is the backside of the globe. Like, really?
I have no freaking clue, man. I do not know why we see the same side from our flat Earth. I don't even know how to get the evidence. We observe it. We see it. It looks cool. It looks solid. For sure. I'm with you. It looks spherical. 100%. Did man walk on the moon already? I don't buy it. You can buy it if you want. Free will. That's free will. Up to you. Unfortunately, I think I was born too soon for commercial space travel to ever happen, but I'm just gonna die a stupid flirt. Hey, what are the chances of the moon being tidally locked? Where's the math in that? Just gonna accept it? Oh yeah, it's tidally locked. Okay. I mean, it's a weird world we live in.
And at the time, I also started looking at the globe Earth model as in the magnetic terms, and the whole thing of gravity, the fact that gravity has never been explained, it remains the most mysterious aspect of science and physics today. Nobody can explain what gravity is. It's this invisible magical force that sucks everything to a ball. They can't really explain it. They observe what they call gravity, but they can't really explain it. And I started looking at the magnetic effect, and my research into the origins of humankind, the origins of everything in creation, and my understanding of sound resonance, how sound and resonance is the source of everything. And when you read ancient scripture, when you read all ancient civilizations, they all share the same common denominator. Everything emerges, everything in creation comes out of the primordial sound and resonance of the creator or the creative source. So it is the sound and resonance that give rise to magnetic fields, and moving magnetic fields give rise to electricity and electromagnetic fields. And I started looking at that linear scientific understanding of our nature of reality and the electromagnetic universe that is actually the magnetoelectric universe, and getting a deeper understanding of that, and then realizing that the magnetic model of our Earth does not stand to scrutiny of magnetic field studies. And that suddenly started, making me examine and question the ball Earth theory in deeper scientific, with deeper scientific questions. And then you look further at the Michelson-Morley experiment that was very clearly hidden and from sight, because it clearly shows that the Earth does not move through space, which is something I never knew. I did not know that. I always believed that the Earth moved around the sun and everything was spinning and moving and traveling through space at millions of miles an hour. I always accepted what I was told by my teachers. Once again, I had to remind myself that everything we've been told is a lie. So, could the flat Earth versus ball Earth theory be one of those lies that we were told? At this stage, I have my own theories on this, but I also discovered the moment I started sharing my theories from a scientific perspective, I came under such venomous attack from people that I decided to bury it and just not talk about it, because I like to discuss everything and anything, and I invite everyone into the Ubuntu movement, and I expect people in the Ubuntu movement to be open-minded and be prepared to discuss everything and be rational about it and evaluate everything to the best of our ability. But I came under such venomous attack from people everywhere that I realized that this is maybe not the right time to start talking about the flat Earth, because as scientific as I want to be about it, some people are just not ready to discuss it. And I realized that it has become the holiest cow, even holier than the money issue. And so for now, it's more important for us to save the world from economic slavery and find a new way out of this enslavement system that we're all born into, than worrying about whether the Earth is flat or a ball. As soon as we freed ourselves from the enslavement situation that we're in, all that stuff will come out of the woodwork in any case.
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.